What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Rezolve AI. I want to go over some of the data points, what is moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Rezolve is up 16.5%, 264 the high, 233 the low. So even at the low, it was up roughly around 4+%. So today is a pretty nice recovery, not just for Rezolve, but across the board. And we're seeing okay volume, so 10.4 million shares being traded. So I've already seen a lot of kind of comments on whether this is a legitimate green day or if it is just some orchestrated bull trap. So later in the video, I'll kind of break it down and go over my thoughts on that. But for data points today, we only really had one, and that was Michigan consumer sentiment. It came in at 57.3, forecast of 53. Similarly, the inflation expectations 3.5 versus 4. So overall, this is good. One thing that the market sometimes doesn't really like about the Michigan data is it's a very small control group. So again, take this with a grain of salt, but supposedly the market is moving higher because of this, as well as Amazon. So Amazon down 7.4% currently, but supposedly, again, based on a lot of the headlines, we are recovering because of Amazon's 2026 spend, roughly around 200 billion. That's what's being forecasted. So in general, I kind of find that absolutely hard to believe, the fact that we are recovering because of Amazon, but yet Amazon itself is down 7.5%. So it kind of goes to show that nobody really truly knows what is happening. Similarly, when the market was going down, nobody really knew, only because there's 1,000,001 things that's been really plaguing the market. And without diving deep into it fully, I do believe a lot of this stemmed from roughly around 4 or 5 months ago. This is where we started to see less and less volume. And typically, less volume means a lot more volatility. So I think a lot of the base kind of started from that. But in Rezolve's case today, nothing for news, no SEC filings, nothing being posted on social media. So Rezolve, during the recent downtrend and the, recovery today, has been merely at the mercy of the broader market. Shorts been kind of holding on. So right now they're returning about 82,000 shares, so not too much. 12.9% of the free flow is being shorted, works to be 27.9 million shares overall are being shorted. So DTC kind of still holding on at 1.2 days, does signal that shorts are relatively overextended. So kind of interesting stuff. I always like to analyze a lot of this, but shorts, similarly, they don't know what is truly going on. The fact that they aren't doubling down, it does give some validity to today's green day. So that's, again, something just to keep in mind. Looking at the options, we're seeing about 439,000 in calls, 37,000 in puts, so very low volume. 45% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see consensus for it to be above 250. Anything or then the bears, not really much activity, kind of between that 250 and 3. So at least the bears are anticipating a little bit more upside. Right now, we are seeing about 2 different transactions on the secondary market. One buy for 371,000, then one sell for 304. So again, not too much going on for that. Dark pool, these are all the transactions that are occurring above $100,000. And so 135,000 and 100,000. Those are kind of the big ones for that. Currently, with that 260, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So it did get above this key resistance of 246. So as long as Rezolve can hold that today, then in theory, you should see a nice technical recovery. So 246, just watch for that. And then if so, you could see potentially a nice recovery to that 337. I'm looking at the 1-day chart. So these are very strong support and resistance points. So if you're wanting to dollar cost average, swing trade, and whatever else, just kind of watch for that. But when it came down to yesterday's overnight trading, this is why, again, I don't truly believe in the high articles and whatever saying that Amazon is the main reason why we're moving higher, because Amazon's earnings came out after hours yesterday, and we can kind of see during the overnight trading, Rezolve was in the red for the most part. It was down about 3.1% up until roughly around 2 a.m., give or take. That's where it started to recover a little bit, but still For the most part, it was sitting at 218. So that would have been a pretty good opportunity to kind of get in a nice little swing trade. But similar stocks all were in very much the red, even pulling up Amazon. So during the overnight, it was down significant, so down 11.2% to around $197. So again, I do not believe it is truly Amazon why we are moving higher, rather institutions. So over the last couple trading days, a lot of the volume has been coming from algorithmic trading. So when you guys watch a lot of my videos, I like to break it down where volume comes from. So algorithmic trading has been kind of the main culprit, and I think it's just feeding off a lot of the negative news and articles that have been coming out about the broader market. But today, institutions, for whatever reason, seem to be buying a little bit more, and you can tell that based on the flow. So this is Amazon's flow. Ideally, you want to look at the XL, large, and medium. A lot of the smaller transactions, that's just simply algorithmic trading. So you want to look at these to see if they are any different today versus, let's say, the last couple of days. So overall, institutions are waking up. And so in Rezolve's case, pulling this up again, you see a little bit, obviously algorithmic trading is making up for a good chunk of the volume, but institutions are kind of waking up a little bit and buying the dip. Does this mean that we are going to go up from here, or does it mean we're going to go down? That's the $1,000,000 question. The fact that institutions are buying is very welcoming, but at the end of the day, it's algorithmic trading. If AI is wanting stocks to move higher, that's what happens. Vice versa. If it wants to go down, the algos will really drag the market down, regardless of if institutions buy or not. So I think overall, best thing that you can do is just dollar cost average. I know that sounds very basic, but honestly, it is 100% the best and safest thing. Over and above, ideally not using margin, but you guys do whatever floats your boat. So overall, institutions are buying a little bit more today, not just with Rezolve, but across the board. So that's, again, very good to see. But still, it could very much go down. So just kind of watch for a lot of those points. So in Rezolve's case at 246, just kind of generally watch for that to hold. And you can kind of see as well, like first thing, Rezolve was flirting with that general range. Luckily enough, it kind of broke past that. So as long as they can hold that today, then in theory, we could see a nice continued push higher. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Are you selling? Did you get stopped out? I know a lot of people are kind of posting that they got margin called, which is rather insane. But again, this is why a lot of people should not really look at margin. But again, you do whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to get you to buy nor sell. I'm just interpreting the data. That is it. Aside from that, though, if you are looking for some solid on-point buy signals, pop over to my Patreon. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.